Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fitney Cast. Today, we have another virtual podcast going on. So, we're getting out of our comfort zone again, and we have a beautiful young woman with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Alex Cooley, also Alex Coolfit, and I'm excited to be here. This is my first podcast in general, so I'm really excited.
Yes, ma'am. I love to hear that. We're both striving out of our comfort zone today
Yeah.
because great things are achieved when you're striving out of your comfort zone.
Yes, can't get complacent at all.
Of course, of course. Now, today's topic is two minds, one mission. And the reason why I feel so strong about that topic is because I feel as if me and you, we have different experiences, we have different characters, we also have different minds. But I feel as if we share the same vision, we share the same mission, and we want to be able to open up to the woman, allow them to see our authentic selves, and let them know that we started from somewhere and we're still not done with our story because there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, just to start it off, I wanted to ask you what inspired you to start your fitness journey and your clothing brand? Because I know you have a clothing brand.
Yeah, so for my fitness journey, it's actually a crazy story because people can be really rude, and I used to be really skinny. I went from 128 pounds to currently 160. I started my
Yes.
journey 2-3 years ago, but someone told me, they said my butt looked like a sesame seed hamburger bun, but the side without seeds. And I was like, yes, I was fine with how I looked, but for someone else to say that to me, it really it hits different.
Of course.
So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in the gym. And I was always like an athlete. I did like basketball, but fitness brought a different thing for me. It brought more of a clarity and better mental health for me, especially with COVID. So as I started getting into the gym, I was loving the consistency and the discipline it brought. And then, of course, you have the physical part. And yes, that helps, but it really did bring me more of a clear mind and then got me to really think about what I wanted to do. So then I'm still in college, but as I was in college, I was like, also, they're not gym clothes that fit tall women because I'm 5'10". So,
Okay.
yeah, leggings
Yeah.
never go fully all the way down to my ankles.
Mm-hmm.
So then I brought the idea up with my parents. They were like, well, what about this? Because I was med school route, all that. And then I was like, I want to do this. I want to full send it with the social media. I was like, I'm still going to finish school, of course, because I was a junior when I decided this. I'm a senior now.
Okay.
I'm already there. So I was like, I'm going to finish for you all. And I was like, there's a plan for everything. God has a plan.
Yes. Amen to that.
Yeah. I always say, you got to meet God 50% of the way and he'll do the other 50. So I was like, I'm going to do this for you all, but you all have to believe in me. And then I started working on it. It's been 2 years in the making. And then it's going to drop soon. I don't have a set date yet, but overall, Cool Fit. I say Cool Fit because my last name's Cooley, but it's really to empower women and make sure you have confidence within yourself. And that's what the gym brought me.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I'm honestly so inspired by that story because a lot of people could take that discouragement and that negative criticism and use it as a way to discourage themselves and degrade themselves. But you took that risk and you went out of your comfort zone and you decided that what people say about you doesn't determine your character, doesn't determine your future, doesn't determine the way you live your life. So that's very inspiring. And I feel as if for everybody who's watching this, take that as inspiration that there's always going to be people who hate on you, but you could take that and use it as fuel to do better. And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. But also too, I was looking into your account and I really loved your account because I was seeing your messages and I was like, I love the encouragement. I think it was one post I saw yesterday. And I was just like, I love this. I think
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Honestly, it just all comes down to like being in that right headspace so you could have that self-love, but then be willing to share your blessings with other people, and honestly, what you said that God will meet you halfway, because I feel as if you have to have a lot of faith in your journey, and that's what people lack. And I feel as if you cannot have a good relationship with yourself or with anybody if you don't have a good relationship with the creator, with God. And
Mhm.
now a lot of people go about their lives praying for situations, praying for their goals, praying for blessings to come their way, and think it's going to fall into their lap. But you could pray, have that faith, have that belief, but you also have to put in that action as well. And that's what it comes down to, it executing. But I wanted to ask as well, what are your personal goals for your brand and yourself in general?
Okay, for myself in general, I want to be the best version of myself. And that did happen because I will say over these past 2 years, I did get closer with God. And that's when I started seeing things fall in place. And when I tell people I'm like dedicated, plan A is my plan A. I don't have a plan B. And I think a lot of people are always like, well, here's my fallback. I don't have that. My goals are, for me personally, I want to be happy and successful in what I do. And I just love the creative process. So I do want to have um a successful YouTube channel and a successful Instagram and TikTok and have all that just click. It will click one day. And I want that to carry on to my brand and my clothing brand because it's all about confidence for me and supporting others. And I feel like my clothes allow people to feel confident within themselves and give them that power so they can complete their goals is in the gym or outside of the gym. But especially I see a lot of girls who are tall women specifically as well, and they don't feel confident within themselves because growing up a lot of people try to make your height seem like a bad thing.
Mhm.
And it's just like, yes, they'll be like, well, you can be a model, but it's like people don't understand when you're young, you don't know that. You don't get comfortable in your own skin until you are older to see that.
Yeah, you're right. And that's so true. I feel like it's something that you have to grow into. That's why it's like no shame to the people who haven't tapped into that because we were in their position one day. And just like you said, your clothing brand, you want it to be basically like a walking statement. Like when people wear your clothing brand, they're going to know the person who created it and that leads by example. So they're going to know, oh, I'm wearing this not just because it looks good and it feels good, but because it's a walking statement and it shows that I'm confident. It shows that message because you speak it as a leader yourself. That's why it's very important to lead by example. And I'm also interested in creating my own clothing brand eventually. Yes. So,
Yeah.
you definitely are a big inspiration to me. And I wanted to ask, what are a few steps you took to launch your brand?
Okay, so for me, first I figured out my brand identity because if you're going to put something out into the world and you don't know who you are and what you want to put out there,
Mm,
where are you going to go? Like, what is going to be the next step? So
right.
I made a plan in what I envisioned for my brand. And yes, you have to have guidance. That's why I was raised by a single mom and then eventually she remarried and I have a stepdad. But having another woman, especially someone who's wiser and their influence really helped me figure out what I wanted to do because I'm 22. I'm a girl in my 20s. Being in your 20s is a very weird experience. You see people having kids, getting married.
Yes, girl.
I'm just like, it's wild. For me, I needed to make a plan that was set in stone and follow that plan. And that's what I did. And I had my mom fully support me. And then I focused on building my brand on my own because I want people to love me for me and then they'll love the brand.
Yes.
And then I went into finding a manufacturer, which also I'll have to tell you because there's this great site for manufacturing and it helps everyone like filter out like clean manufacturers, no scams, because that's the hard
Right.
part. I've seen
Of
people
course.
who I give advice and they'll be like, well, I talked to this manufacturer and they lose thousands of dollars because they were
Mm.
scammed out for their brand.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why you have to be very careful. But also, you can't go around thinking that everything's a scam. You got to take that risk, especially if you want to do it for your business. And, just like you said, you're making sure that before you stepped into that and took that step to launch it, you had your personal brand. You made sure to become the business,
Mhm.
like you made sure you lead by example. You're your authentic self. Cause I feel as if a lot of people put on facades just because they want to gain that income, but money is not the end goal. It's about the person you become along the way. Like, of course, everybody wants multiple streams of income, because you want to be able to live a lifestyle and be in control of your time and be able to afford what you want to afford. But at the end of the day, it's like you could have so much money, But when you look within, are you fulfilled? Are you complete? Do you even have people who love you? Are you like a horrible person? So it's like you have to be able to get your mind under control. That's
Mhm.
why one thing that I always say to people is to work on the 5 pillars. Your spiritual pillar, that connection with God and yourself comes first. Cause like I said, you can't have a good relationship with other people if you don't have one with yourself.
Mhm.
And then mental, you got to be able to be mentally strong and be able to obtain knowledge and resources. And not only that, because people say knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is power. Because you could read, you could listen, and you could have all the facts gathered in your mind. But if you don't take that and execute, then what's the point of having the knowledge, you know? And
Yeah.
then your physical pillar, when you apply that discipline physically, and the thing is, I'll always inspire people to go to the gym because you not only liberate yourself physically and end up falling in love with yourself and having so much confidence, but when you apply that discipline physically, it falls into the other aspects into your life,
Yep, exactly. 'Cause
right?
when they say mind to muscle connection, they're just not saying that to
Mm.
say that because eventually that mind and then the body's gonna click and everything's gonna fall in place.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. And then after the physical, emotional. Everybody's emotional, but us women, we
Mhm.
could be a little bit more emotional. That's why that emotional intelligence, it's important for us to tap into it at a young age. That's why I'm so grateful to be able to have gained and took action on an opportunity to be able to liberate my mind in that way. So now, when it comes to making decisions, whether it's in a relationship, business wise, personal wise, any type of aspect, I respond based off of my values instead of my emotion. So I don't sabotage good opportunities, I don't block my blessings.
Mhm.
And then guess what's last? Financial.
Yep.
That financial pillar is last. But you have to be able to financially educate yourself, make sure you're financially literate because for example, my mentor had told me like, "Oh, save somebody like I don't know if he said exactly this, but for example, like a homeless person or a bum like wins the lottery. It's like you won the lottery, but what are you going to do to be able to keep it, grow it, and multiply it to have that money work for you? You're going to like blow it like this, and then that's it. So those 5 pillars, girl, will change your life. Everybody who's watching this, tap into the 5 pillars, right? Tell them to tap into it.
Hop into the 5 pillars. Trust. Trust.
Yes. But regarding your personal growth journey, I wanted to ask you, what are some challenges you faced along the way and how did you overcome them?
I'd say challenges I faced also, like one for sure, is you got to pick what you want to do when it comes to going out and friends because
Mm.
when you um when you surround yourself with people that represents you literally. And I've seen people come and go and that really helped with my personal journey because I had people who were bad influences in my life that had to go. And that's when I started seeing changes as well. Because people always be like, well, you don't go out, come out, come out. I'm like, I can't do that because when I'm out, that's when I could be working and I'm setting my future up. I'm setting my kids'
Mm.
futures up, my family's future. And
Yes.
when I got rid of negative influences, that's when everything started to click. And I remember too, because I had roommates and then I moved out on my own, got my own place. And then that's when I really started focusing, and that's when I developed my brand. And that's when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And it was like negativity gone, clear vision.
Right. And that's amazing. And I'm so happy to hear that for you as a woman to another woman, because I feel as if a lot of women are conformed and allow society and their environments to pressure them and influence them into doing things that really don't serve them. So, speaking from experience, I also had to cut out people. I also had to remove myself from toxic environments because at the end of the day, it comes to a point where you have to realize what you're doing currently, is it feeding into your vision, is it feeding into your goals? And if it's not, then you just gotta take accountability, self-reflect, and be like, okay, like it's unfortunate I'm in this place right now, but if I cut it out now, then where can I be in the future?
Mm-hmm.
And also, like you said, you want to be able to leave that inheritance for your kids. And in the Bible, it says, I don't know if I'm quoting it completely correctly, but it says a good man leaves an inheritance for his kids. So you're setting up a legacy. You're setting up a foundation that not only fulfills you and sets you up for success, but like the generations that come after you. It's all about breaking that generational curse.
Yep.
And like you said, those challenges, like a lot of the people around you were so probably influential into coercing you to come out to party, probably come out to drink, or to, even if it's not that, just to surround yourself around certain substances, certain environments that bring you further away from your purpose. So for you to be able to recognize that and cut that out, that's big, because a lot of people don't have a voice for themselves. They don't want to step up and make boundaries. But it's all about making boundaries, because what you say goes. What you want to do is what you want to do. So that comes a lot with character. That's why you got to build your character. But moving forward from that, what has your personal growth journey taught you about yourself?
It's taught me that I can really get through anything. Like, I always say, you gotta, like, when something bad happens, you gotta remember someone always has it worse, and you gotta be thankful for where you are in that situation. And even when I'm down, I've realized God will put me in this wilderness, but He's testing me to make sure I get out of it. And He's gonna allow me to get out of it, but it's gonna be my choice if I stay in it. So it's really, I'm
Definitely.
very resilient, and I try to find the good in every bad situation.
Amazing. Honestly, that's the way to be, because you got to be able to bounce back
Mhm.
and not allow that failure to dictate your future risks. Because at the end of the day, you got to fail forward. Failing is just a blessing in disguise. It's just an opportunity for you to know that that way didn't work. And it's not unfortunate, because now you can find a better way to move into that next decision. But this is a good question. I love to see women's perspectives on this. What does self-love mean to you? And what message do you have for the woman struggling to obtain it?
That is a good one. Okay. I'd say self-love for me is being happy and thinking about the future in a positive way. I think self-love, a lot of people really get down on themselves and they think, oh, it has to do with looks as well. But for me, it's really mental and where I am in that point. For self love, for me, is because I have really bad cystic acne and everything. And yes, looks, but if I'm happy with how I am internally, then that shows on my outside and my looks, and I'll be fine. And I feel like for me, I have a little sister and I'll see her get down on herself. And
Mm.
I'm like, you got to remember that you're beautiful inside and out, no matter what someone says. And as long as you're happy with yourself internally, then you're fine.
And how old is your little sister, if you don't mind me asking?
She's 18. She'll be 19 in February.
Really? Because I'm 19.
Really?
So, yeah. So what's her name?
Spoken. I have to.
Thank you. Thank you. What's her name?
Her name's Olivia.
Olivia. Is she gonna watch this video?
Probably. No one knows I'm doing it right now because I
Okay.
always tell people don't like let everybody know what you're doing, and then when it
Of
comes
course.
up,
Of course.
try to move in
That
silence
mhm.
sometimes.
You gotta, yes, you gotta move in silence, let success be your noise, you
Mhm.
know? And but one thing I wanna say to your little sister, Olivia, right?
Yeah.
Olivia, if you're watching this right now, I know you don't know me. I know I don't know you, but me and you are about the same age. And what I can say from experience is obtaining that self love. Like, you could look at this and be like, oh, I feel like a lot of people may think that it's easier said than done, but God loves you. And if God loves you, that's all the validation you need. That's all the validation you need. And then when you could recognize that, you could learn that He has gifted you with the abilities and your own character and your own physical beauty the way that you are. You got to love yourself for who you are and be unapologetically yourself. If you move authentically and you move with great intentions and you just learn to just fall in love with yourself because you deserve it, you're going to feel so liberated. So if you're listening to this right now, it's either day or day one. So make today that day that you take that step forward and start falling in love with yourself, falling in love with the journey, and start cultivating certain habits. And that goes for everybody who's watching this. You know, if you're struggling to obtain that self love, it's a journey. You know, me, I haven't fully mastered it, and I don't think I will fully master it because I feel as if it's something that I'm learning and growing and improving on every day. Right?
Uh-huh. I always say it's just being a girl. Being a girl. That's literally what it is.
It is. It is. And now, regarding success, because I feel like a lot of people have their different perspectives on success. They either look at it in a way that is kind of greedy, typically like just money, like how we discussed before.
Mhm.
But what is your perspective on success?
For me, success, yes, of course, financial is always going to be
Of
there.
course.
For me, is when I make an impact on someone's life where they have said, I've made a difference. That's success to me. Because, of course, I'm still in my journey for my business and my social media. But when I see those comments that someone's like, I think the other day someone told me that I posted a video about hip dips and I was like, it's normal. And someone commented, thank you for letting me, like, basically checking me and realizing my hip
Okay.
dips are normal, they're beautiful, and they're sexy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what warms my heart in what I'm doing. And currently, like, with being a pretty girl, like with social media, I'm in a rebrand right now because men always will come to our pages. But it's I see those women in my comments and I'm like, that warms my heart. That's success to me. Cause right now I'm
Oh.
like totally transparent with my social media. I got rid of like over 1,000 accounts and dropped my accounts because for me, success is building a strong community of women. I did not want those men there. I was like, well,
Like y'all could go somewhere else.
no. Like you just because I had 25,000, it dropped to 21. I was like, that doesn't matter to me. That's a number. I said, if I can inspire women, that's my goal. That is what I see success is for me. When I'm helping women and inspiring them, especially those who want to get into their content journey and share their journey, because that's the point, sharing your journey, your perspective, because you don't know who's going to relate to it and who will take that to the heart and be like, okay, I can do this. If she can do it, I can do it too.
Yes, and even if it impacts one person,
Mhm.
even if one person watches this and it impacts their life, then that's all that matters because that's another person who woke up and we've been able to inspire them. So I admire that perspective of yours, that's what success is, being able to empower women. And believe it or not, about the hip dips, I could also relate. So it also inspires me as a woman. So you coming on here and being authentic and then being authentic on your own page is truly a beautiful thing to see. And I could see that you're genuine and you're just truly rooting for the woman out there and not in it for the wrong intentions. And when you have that abundance mindset and those abundance intentions and you're willing to share your blessings with other people, you're going to attract the best of the best. And it's not like you're doing it to attract the best of the best, but because you're genuinely doing it, because you're genuinely a good person, you're going to attract all that's coming your way. And I pray that all the blessings are coming your way.
Oh, thank you. You too. No, like you're so well spoken for 19. I wish I was well spoken. Like for me, I'm still getting there. Like I was nervous at first coming on, but now I'm like good and I'm warmed up. And I just feel like people who can like speak in person as well as you, like it really makes a difference. And I'm like, I can speak in front of a camera, yes, but always I'll get shy in front of people.
It
It happens.
it happens, and then my face starts turning red. But no, you are so very well spoken as well, and I love your confidence because I feel me personally, when I first started my podcast journey, I was a little nervous, and I'm obviously so pale. My face would turn so red, like just giving away my shyness. But I just learned to accept it because I have my shy moments, but I would say that's like 5%, and then 95% is like full confidence.
Yeah, no, 'cause that 5% is like because I was excited, but then my excited was tied to
Yeah.
nerves. I was like, okay. But
But
now
now we warmed up, so we're good, we're comfortable. But now, what are the mental and emotional effects of maintaining a healthy physical lifestyle?
that that one is actually a really good one because I actually just took like a week off from the gym because
Mhm.
sometimes your body needs it. And it's like your mental
Right.
will stress you out so much. It's like sometimes the gym, it's not gonna work that day. Because going to the gym normally helps me like clear my thoughts, but sometimes it's like you need a break and you just need to be like, okay, yes, you're consistent. Because I think with when you're in the gym and you go so often, you don't realize that sometimes you're overworking yourself and you burn out. So for me, I would say sometimes I'll burn myself out and people will tell me, hey,
Okay.
like, don't burn out. And then I end up burning out because I'm going to the gym like
Yeah.
5 times out of the 7 days of the week. And then my rest days are active rest days. So then that starts messing with my mental more so. So I'm like,
Of
sometimes
course.
mentally and physically need a break
Yeah.
in general, just like relax.
Yeah. And that's fully justified because you know your body at the end of the day. People can see you for however they want or perceive your actions for whatever, but you know what your body needs. You know what your mind is telling you. And if that's what you know is best for you and it's not harmful for you, then you have every right to do it?
Mhm.
But just to end it off for the last question, is there any last message you have for the woman out there?
Don't be afraid to change it up or switch the plan or switch the goal. If you have a gut feeling that that is what you want to do in life, go with it. Make that your plan A and stick with it because it will click one day, especially because God put it in your mind and in your heart for a reason. So if he put it there, why are we going to go somewhere else or try this, try that, and then come right back to the same thing that
Yeah.
was there all along? That would be my advice. And to just do
Mhm.
it. Don't care what no one thinks, what anyone says, because the ones who hate are the ones that wish they were doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am. And at the
Mhm.
end of the day, well, thank you for that message. I'm inspired by that message as well. And I know for a fact we're going to be able to impact people. Like I said, even if it's just one person, with the messages that we have, it's because we experienced it ourselves to be able to project that energy to other people. So I feel as if my message to the women out here who are watching, one, thank you for tuning in. you know, my mission, our mission is to be able to empower women, is to be able to uplift them and let them know that they have every right to be themselves. I feel like this right now is the prime point in my life so far that I've been my most authentic. I used to put up a facade, try to fit into certain circles, try to fit into whatever people were doing, but that didn't serve me because I wasn't striving then when I was fitting in, but
Mhm.
I'm striving now when I'm being my authentic self. So one thing I can say is, guys, be unapologetically yourself, be authentic, love yourself, do you. And like she said, if you feel as if God placed a purpose in your heart, don't shy away from it. Don't neglect it. Just go for it. Take those risks, take action because applied knowledge, make sure you tap into the books, the resources cuz you want to be able to, know and be able to tap into knowledge so you could be able to educate yourself and to be able to obtain those resources so you can know how to move, so you could be able to become emotionally intelligent. So when those opportunities come, so when those decision making times come, you're able to make them based off of your values and not your emotions. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Today's episode was about woman empowerment ultimately and sharing your journey because our story is our glory.
Mhm.
And also, our story is God's glory as well. And our
Mhm.
mess is our message. So, with all that we've experienced, it doesn't define us. And our story isn't over either. This is not the end of us. And I'm looking forward to having you come on again.
Yes, no, I'd be so down, especially too because we don't know where we're gonna be in a year. You watch,
Yes.
my clothing brand's gonna be up there, number one, and your podcast is gonna be number one right there.
Yes, ma'am. High hopes. We gotta have faith. And
Mhm.
now, a year from now, like you said, we could come back and reflect and be like, oh, reflect on our communication, reflect on our messages, reflect on where we are currently. But I truly wish you the best as a woman. Like you are so beautiful and so talented and creative and unique. And I truly wish the most blessings come your way. And I pray you continue to inspire people because you inspired me today. You really did.
No, you too. You are 19. You have, especially with how well spoken you are and how empowering you are for women, you're gonna go places. You
Thank you.
truly are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And now, just to end it off with the audience, thank you guys for watching. This is Tiffany Cast. This is episode 14. So, we're being consistent. Make sure you tune in, subscribe, and oh, let me not start choking.
Hey, I was doing it because I'm
Yeah.
a yapper, so it was.
But thank you guys for watching. And I'm going to text you when we end it. But have a good night, okay?
Too. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye, guys.